In this part of the course, we're going to explore CVE 2024-30051, an elevation of privilege vulnerability found within the Windows DWM Core Library. Understanding this type of vulnerability is essential for anyone involved in cybersecurity. This issue, which impacts the desktop window manager, can potentially enable an attacker to gain elevated privileges. Elevation of privilege vulnerabilities are particularly significant because they can allow threat actors to execute actions with increased permissions, potentially leading to a full system compromise. Let's examine what makes this particular vulnerability a notable point of interest. In this slide, we'll focus on CVE 2024-30051, a high-severity zero-day vulnerability impacting the Windows DWM Core Library. This vulnerability enables attackers to escalate privileges to system-level rights, posing significant security risks. Understanding this is particularly important for those preparing for cybersecurity exams centered around vulnerability management. Recognizing its implications can help you better grasp how zero-day exploits can undermine system security and the importance of implementing effective mitigation strategies. This slide provides the vulnerability details for CVE 2024-30051, a high-severity zero-day impacting the Windows DWM Core Library. The root cause of the vulnerability is a heap-based buffer overflow found in the DWM core.dll, specifically within the ccommand buffer initialize method. This overflow poses a serious threat as it may lead to a system compromise. The impact is significant as it can result in breaches of confidentiality, integrity, and availability, potentially altering or accessing sensitive system resources without authorization. Understanding these details is critical for examining the nature and potential consequences of this exploit. In this slide, we'll conduct a technical exposition on the vulnerability we're examining. One of the main issues highlighted here is an out-of-bounds write, which arises from a buffer size miscalculation. More specifically, the erroneous use of integer division during the size calculation process can cause data to overflow. As a result, attackers exploiting this vulnerability could potentially execute arbitrary code with system privileges, posing a severe threat to system security. Understanding these technical aspects is important in evaluating the risk and potential impact of this vulnerability on affected systems. On this slide, we're going to explore the exploitation path for a vulnerability that could lead to code execution with elevated privileges. The process begins with preparatory steps involving a technique known as a heap spray in the Desktop Window Manager (DWM) process. This ensures the memory is arranged in a specific way that facilitates the exploitation. Following this, an attacker would trigger a buffer overflow using carefully crafted payloads designed to take advantage of the existing miscalculations we previously discussed. Once the preparatory steps are completed, key commands are used to execute a system command. In this instance, the attacker could use something like cmad.exe/cstartKeyman.exe to open a new command prompt with system privileges, providing them with extended control over the system. Additionally, the attacker can manipulate memory further with ntdecomposition commit channel, which allows for precise control over memory operations in the ongoing exploitation process. These steps, if successfully executed, lay the groundwork for an attacker to gain unauthorized access and potentially manipulate the system with significant implications. On this slide, we're focusing on real-world exploitation scenarios. We've seen live intrusions where this vulnerability has been leveraged, often in conjunction with Quackbot and similar types of malware. Multiple threat actors have taken advantage of this exploit to further their objectives. In response, remedial actions have been taken, including the release of patch updates on May 14, 2024, commonly known as Patch Tuesday. Importantly, CISA has categorized this vulnerability as a known exploited vulnerability, highlighting the significance of staying updated with patches to mitigate the risks associated with these exploits. On this slide, we focus on the tools and monitoring strategies crucial to detecting and shielding against potential exploits. We leverage intrusion detection systems, or IDS, to observe and flag suspicious activities. As an example, the command get-event-log log-name application entry type error can be employed to monitor logs for errors, which might indicate exploit attempts. Protection tools are also an essential part of our security arsenal. Microsoft Defender plays a significant role here, as it provides updated signatures that recognize well-known exploits. Additionally, the sysinternals suite is a valuable resource. This set of utilities aids in tracking process creation and analyzing memory usage, which are vital in uncovering any malicious activities impacting system integrity. Incorporating these tools ensures we maintain a robust defense against threats, keeping systems resilient while minimizing vulnerabilities. In this slide, we're focusing on a structured remediation strategy after identifying vulnerabilities. For immediate actions, it's imperative to apply the security patches released by Microsoft in May 2024. Additionally, ensure that the version of DWM Core.dll has been updated to 10.0.22621.3593 or later to mitigate risks effectively. Shifting our attention to long-term measures, adopting the least privilege principle is essential. This means users and applications should only have the necessary permissions required for their roles or functions. Moreover, reinforcing network security through segmentation can isolate assets and prevent the spread of potential threats. Application whitelisting further strengthens security by allowing only pre-approved programs to run, thereby reducing exposure to malicious software. As we discuss best practices in response to CVE 2024-30051, it's vital to tailor our approach for both system administrators and end users. System administrators should establish and maintain a regular patch management process to ensure that all systems remain up to date with the latest security updates. Additionally, it's important to educate staff about recognizing and handling phishing campaigns, especially those that might exploit this vulnerability. For end users, they should be encouraged to avoid downloading unsolicited files, which can often serve as vectors for malware associated with this exploit. Moreover, ensuring that antivirus software is maintained and updated will provide an additional layer of defense against potential threats. By implementing these best practices, we can enhance our overall security posture and minimize the risks posed by this vulnerability. CVE 2024-30051 represents a significant security threat if it remains unpatched. It's imperative to practice due diligence in patching and monitoring to mitigate associated risks effectively. As you plan your next steps, consider reviewing additional resources on the Microsoft website and exploring cybersecurity blogs focused on zero-day response tactics. These materials will provide deeper insights and strategies to bolster your security posture against such vulnerabilities. In this slide, we are focusing on references that are essential for understanding and addressing CVE 2024-3051. The main sources of information include the Microsoft Security Response Center and the National Vulnerability Database, NVD, both of which are indispensable resources for anyone tracking and managing vulnerabilities. Additionally, for further reading and to deepen your understanding, I recommend Hunting Windows DWM Vulnerabilities by Kaspersky and Vulnerability Management in Windows Environments by Vulcan Cyber. These resources will provide you with valuable insights and strategies to effectively manage vulnerabilities in Windows environments.